This is Anthony Orlando with Public Square Amplified. In part one of our interview with filmmaker Opoku, Lillian Phoenix Ojo, and Isaiah Conte, the trio discussed the production of their first 20-minute short film, Cider, A Parable of Black Love. In part two, Opoku and Phoenix stick around to discuss their upcoming work with Opo's Canon, the challenges and lessons they faced, and what film and storytelling mean to them as young artists in New Jersey. All right, now questions for Oppo. What was it like editing this film? What inspired you when creating the movie's psychedelic visuals?
Bro, everyone keeps saying that, and I'm like, whatever. I thought it was spacey. I thought it was African. Like, well, yeah. So, there was so many first times on set. In the post-production, it was a lot of, okay, how are we going to correct these first times? And that's between, like, continuities, that's between technical difficulties, that's between, like, corrupted files. I didn't necessarily make it, like, an intentional visual choice to be so hard leaning into, like, the African effects until as post-production was happening, I started realizing, like, now we have to creatively, like, put Band-Aids, So, fortunately, the film had the plot of the ghost, which was already in mind, but I had to even kind of compensate where there were certain things, like, I wanted there to be, like, wind blowing in the room at certain points, what I'm saying? I wanted to do that, but because, just, let's say, budget costs, it was the first time again. In terms of the trippy visuals, for me, it really was that, like, in the writing of the script, that was more so, if not African, I guess, like, I've done a lot of, like, work with, like, ego work or, like, spiritual work and stuff like that. People need to understand that when people are like, oh, there's demons in the room or there's it's not something that is that's not something that's not present. It's just in what I call water. It's just, like, in the mind. If someone's like, oh, I'm battling with anxiety, yeah, no one's beating them up, but there is things going on in their head, and how can I show that other than visual effects? That is really what that was. But, if people are like, psychedelic, I'm like, oh, bro, whatever help you understand.
Wow, I mean, just kind of blew my mind right now. As a follow-up, let's talk about storytelling as a black person who grew up in New Jersey. And does the intersection of race play a role for you? I mean, of course, I know this may seem like a provocative or a trite question coming from someone like me, but you can shape the question. Like, what's the most empowering thing that using your voice to tell this story? Expanding on that question, like, how important is it for you to, for not only you, but for you or audience to be able to use that kind of voice?
Being from Jersey and being black, it didn't really feel like an intersection. It just felt like that was life, especially being from Newark. So I guess the statement is that, like, people in Newark, New Jersey are exposed to a lot of diversity and realness. That's not everybody. So because of that, I think it's really important that people create art that is real. I do feel like it's important for my people to understand that, like, if you're not really building to something that's, like, truly for the betterment of your people, you're going to be at a loss.
Did you discover any new things or ideas about art or each other as filmmakers and artists?
Yeah, I would say like working with Oppo has, like, made me realize how thoughtful he is, not just as a writer, but just as, like, a friend and just, like, a colleague in general. Even just seeing him, how he, like, healed a lot of the relationships that he talked about within the film during that time. It was actually very beautiful to see just someone actually, like, use their art as healing and stick to, like, that messaging that they were trying to execute, and then also, like, realizing how patient he is. I think he has the patience to sit and listen to how things can grow and be better over time. I'm actually very grateful to be working with someone that's very empathetic and patient like that, because it's, the art world's cutthroat.
To go deeper into my previous question, you're a young and black filmmaker trying to carve spaces in a tough industry. Can you tell us a bit more about some of the challenges and surprises and lessons you've had so far?
Man, challenges, surprises, and lessons. Man, I'm about to get playfully arrogant. I started doing this film stuff because I thought that, it was going to be a smarter decision for me to find a career path that is truly aligned with my spirit than writing books. And what I'm looking at as future goals are bigger than what I thought they would. I want the Canon to be its own major production company, you know what I'm saying? I want this to be an international thing. I want it to be artist-centered, meaning that it's not about promoting just anything, but rather it's about getting production for artists who are really trying to help change the world and create a better culture.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, what's next for you? I mean, do you have more films you're working on, or you're working on a different medium?
We're currently in a space right now where it's like we're doing a lot with stamping ourselves as a production company. So not necessarily short films, but just like working with bigger clients who are looking for more artistic visions, or like kind of making sure that we're, for the artists, creating solid content as well, so that so that we ourselves are getting produced. Really just leaning into the Canon being as a channel.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for sharing all this. This is all great.
Thank you all for watching. This is Anthony Orlando with Public Square Amplified.